This show is the most chaotic, toxic, messy, drama-filled show I have seen in a long time. I am addicted to it, and there's a new season coming out, so I thought it would be fun to delve into seasons 1 and 2 episode by episode and really understand what is going on with these characters. I just want to talk about this show with someone, so let's get into it. Episode 1, we open up with Lucy and Steven, and the first words that Steven says to Lucy that we as an audience hear are, "You don't hate me." Right away, we're starting off with manipulation. The first sentence, we don't even get a lead up. We don't get a "Hi, how are you?"
What happened to hello? How are you? My name is.
We don't get any kind of introduction. Our introduction is manipulation. Then we cut to Lucy in bed with her current boyfriend. She obviously feels guilty about her flashbacks and her dreams about her ex, but she does not communicate anything to him. Instead, she heads off to her friend's engagement party, which she tells him to not come to. In a relationship, in any relationship, if your partner is going to a major event like a wedding and they don't invite you, red flag. The sirens should be alarming. Red flags should be waving in the air, because what do you mean? What do you mean you're going to a major event and you don't want me to be your date? And obviously she does not want him to go because her ex is going to be there as well. Then we cut to the party. Lucy and Bree are having a chat. Bree is her friend who is getting married. And Bree is apologizing to Lucy because she says, "Your ex is going to be here. I begged Evan, who is Bree's fiance, to not invite him, but obviously she did not win that fight. And Steven is there. But she said, I told Evan to make sure he doesn't talk to you." Girl, if it's that bad, why would you go? I've come to a point in life where I don't go places where I'm not wanted, or if I don't feel comfortable. Like, if I do not feel comfortable somewhere, I will remove myself. All of these hoops already that they're jumping through, I'm like, just why would you go? Why would you go? I mean, we know why. Wouldn't be me. So they're having their little chat, and then Pippa walks in. Pippa is their other friend, and she says, "Oh my God, we're talking about Steven already." My thoughts exactly. And then Pippa and Bree have this really warm greeting. They give a really big hug. Then Pippa turns to Lucy, and the fakest smile in the world is plastered on her face. They give one of those like hugs that you don't want to touch someone, like pat pat. It's so weird because you're like, aren't you friends? Then Bree has to go do wedding stuff, and it's just Lucy and Pippa talking, and Pippa is saying, "Don't do anything to draw attention to yourself. This is not your day. It's Bree's day. We've already messed up enough as her friends," alluding to this big thing that they've done. And now you're like, what did you do to Bree? Anywho, so now we're outside, we're at the party. Lucy, Pippa, Bree, and Evan are chatting, and this lovable goofball jumps in and gives Bree this really big hug, and it is Wrigley, their other friend from college. I just want to be a fly on the wall of the hospital room or the house when the parents decided to name their son Wrigley. Like, what made them think this was appropriate? In my head, I was like, this is giving Nara Smith vibes. I don't even think she would name her child Wrigley. So then Lucy makes a rude comment about Wrigley, and Evan says, "Hey, how about you being more sensitive? His brother's birthday was yesterday, and he's probably stressed out." Then we have this one really weird moment when Lucy pulls Bree aside and tells her, "I'm really happy for you. Like, I want you to know that. I hope you know that I'm so happy for you." That is another red flag. Why are you saying that? Of course you're happy for me. You're my friend. You're at my engagement party. Like, there's a way to be happy for someone, but the way she was doing it, I was like, what did you do? My first thought was, what did you do, you toxic little... So now Lucy is going around the party by herself, and then of course she spots Steven. Criminal. Jail time. Whoever put that wig on his head, you need to serve jail time. It's so bad. It's so bad. Anyway, from there we jump 8 years into the past. We are going to get the beginning of it all. We're going to get Lucy's origin story. We start with her breaking up with her high school boyfriend. She delivers the news to him as if she's just telling him the weather. She says, "I want to break up." This man is distraught. He's obviously angry. He's frustrated. Like, he's feeling the normal reactions that you get when you're breaking up with someone. She just says, "I know you want me to be more upset, but I'm not." Excuse me? Then he tells her, "You're broken inside," and he leaves. He's not wrong. Then we get a shot of Lucy in the car with her mom. She's driving her to college, and their relationship is obviously very fraught. It's not a good one. Her dad has died recently, and they're both not handling it well, and they're not leaning on each other in a good way. Instead, they have become more combative and not a family. And her mom goes as far as to tell her that she does not think she's nice anymore. She says, "I don't know what happened to my sweet girl." And then follows that up by saying, "Your dad would be so disappointed." Well, I'm gonna go jump off the bridge now. Even if it's true, find better ways to communicate. So now Lucy's at college by herself, and we meet Macy, Lucy's new roommate. Macy is so sweet and warm. She hugs Lucy right away, tells her, I'm so excited to meet you. I was looking forward to this. It's hilarious. You can tell how hard it is for Lucy to muster up any emotion that is close to excitement. She gives her this hug and she's like, oh, yeah, I was a little excited too. You're watching it and you're like, it's okay to be happy about something. Then two girls from across the hall come in. It's Bree and Pippa. This is the established friend group. It is now Macy, Bree, Pippa, and Lucy. They start to hang out. They're walking around campus together, getting coffees. And who comes back in his big entrance way, giving Pippa a really big hug? Wrigley. Bubblegum Boy. He and Pippa have been hooking up and he invites them all to a party. Pippa says maybe, playing it cool, and then Wrigley says, okay, I have to get back to my friends. We pan over to his friends and there is Steven. With, thank God, his buzz cut or his short haircut, whatever you call that as a guy. I know they have numbers for guys' cuts, like number 4, 2, 7. I'm gonna call this the number 5. So then we pan over to Steven with his number 5 haircut, and him and Lucy are playing eye tag. They're just like, contact. And you can tell she's already obsessed. From this 2-second interaction, 2-second eye contact, obsessed. The girl who has no feelings about anything had 2 seconds of eye contact and was like, I'm done. Mental. Now we're back in the dorm room. The girls are getting ready for the party because of course they are going. And we're getting to understand more about them. So Pippa, we can tell, is very obsessed with people's love life. She wants to know if you're a virgin, if you're not a virgin, who you're sleeping with. This is what fascinates her, and she is stuck on the fact that Bree is a virgin. Shock and awe, you're a freshman in college and a virgin? Oh my god. Then they turn to Lucy and they're like, Lucy, let us know about your love life. And she says, oh, I just broke up with my boyfriend this morning. And as normal people, they reacted and they said, oh my god, how are you? And she says, oh no, it's not like that. It's not like that. It was just like a quick little thing. I'm fine. And they're like, oh, so you weren't together that long. 2 years. She says they were together 2 years, but she's fine. So they just look at her. Then she goes on to explain how life is no longer fun for her. Nothing excites her. And Pippa just goes, you don't get excited by things? Lucy's like, no. Well, you know, it's like when you're a kid and like things are so fun and fresh and new, and I've lost that. This girl's 17, 18. We're freshmen in college. How have you lost joy? So she says, nothing excites me anymore unless it's super overwhelming and all consuming. And that's when I'll get really into it. But besides that, nothing is fun. And the crickets, when she gives them this little spiel, is hilarious. They just look at her. They don't even know how to respond. Because how do you respond to something so chaotic? She changes the subject and is like, oh, I need to find something to wear. They get her address. They're off to the party. We get to the party. We meet Drew, who is Wrigley's younger brother. He's adorable. We also meet Evan, who is Wrigley's other friend. Evan is a serial monogamist. He always has a girlfriend attached at the hip. Can't be apart. He's also filthy rich. I mean, good for you, man. Lucy goes off by herself at some point to get a drink, and then we meet Diana. She's with her friend, and her friend goes, can we go? I don't want to hang out with these 18-year-olds and I don't want to stalk your ex. Diana apologizes to Lucy. They get each other's names and then Lucy says, I'm here with Wrigley, and Diana says, watch out for him, and then she's gone. Can I just say, Diana is gorgeous and she kind of reminds me of Meghan Markle in her early days of Suits. So lovely. Then Lucy's having her drink, in comes the devil, Steven. And the first thing he says to her, this is their first interaction. This is the first thing, their first verbiage to each other. He says, you look uncomfortable in that dress. Followed up by, I mean, you look really good, but uncomfortable. That is just the perfect intro to him, because everything he says to her and the rest of this series is backhanded. He'll say something that's kind of rude, but then follow it up with something that's nice enough that you overlook it. I will say though, the chemistry between these two actors is phenomenal. You watch this and you feel like you're interrupting something, because it feels like literally like you're at a party watching someone flirt for the first time. And I think they're dating in real life now, which makes it even cuter. But he is like peppering her with all these questions, blurting out the first thing in his mind. It's very abrasive, very blunt. And then he like starts walking closer to her, backing her into the wall. In my mind, it was like watching Animal Planet. It was like watching a lion or a tiger go for the deer and attack. They're getting very close. You can tell she's kind of smitten. Then you just hear, oh my God, Steven DeMarco? And it's Macy coming up the stairs. She knows him. The way she said it, you would think they would have a big hello, but then he just kind of says, oh, hey, Macy. And they both are like, oh yeah, we're from the same town. And they say nothing else. That's our little intro to that. It's kind of weird, but okay. And that's the end of our party scene. We are now at the next morning. The girls are having breakfast and Pippa says to Lucy, Steven is into you. He told Wrigley. She seems like excited at first, but then tries to play it off as being not interested. Like, oh, well, yeah, I'm not really interested in him. Like, I thought I was in person, but now that I think about him, like, he seems not cute. Okay. Sure. At some point, Macy and Lucy have a kind of bonding moment, and it seems like Macy's gonna open up about something big, but then Lucy's phone rings. And who is calling her but Steven? He got her number from Wrigley and he asked her out on a date. And you would think he would ask her nicely and make it seem like, oh my gosh, you're just so pretty and I would love to spend time with you. No. He basically said, let's go to dinner. And when she said, can I think about it? He goes, what's there to think about? It's dinner. Just come to dinner. The way I would have thrown the phone, I was hearing him speak to her that way. I was furious. And instead of saying no, instead of being like, no, you're being rude and hanging up, she says, oh, maybe. She leaves it at a maybe.
Stand up! Stand up!
That is how I know she's lying to herself. She's like, I don't like him, I don't think. But you say maybe to this rude man? Okay. Now we flash to the girls. They're hanging out on the lawn. And Bree and Drew, who is Wrigley's brother, share a kiss. They're so cute. It's so wholesome. And you're excited for Bree. She's like gonna have her first relationship with the guy maybe. And Drew just seems like a really sweet boy. They're having their thing. Pippa and Lucy and Macy are hanging out. And then Lucy gets a call from her mom, which she ignores, but the name on the screen says CJ, and Pippa says, who's that? Lucy replies, oh, it's my mom. She lost the privilege to be called mom. I think this is like a white person thing. Like, no, honestly, I'm gonna need you guys to tell me, is this something for white families? Because what do you mean? If I ever fixed my mouth to call my mom by her first name because I was upset with her, oh my God, it wouldn't even cross my mind. Everything about her frustrates me. So she is very upset. She storms off and then hides in her room. Later on in the day, Macy comes back home. They're in the dorm together and she asks if Lucy's okay. Lucy says, no, I don't want to talk about it. Then Macy says, how about coming out with me? And Lucy rejects Macy and dismisses her in such a harsh way. And I felt bad. You just saw Macy crumple as a person, but she went off by herself instead. Lucy stayed home. The next morning she wakes up. Macy is not in the dorm. She's having breakfast with Pippa. She's asking Pippa, have you seen Macy? Pippa's like, no, I haven't, but she's probably just like with some boy. They're going about their morning and they run into Bree, who looks distraught. She's been crying, she seems so down, and she tells them Macy got in a car accident and she did not survive. Now Lucy is spiraling. She's feeling guilty because, oh my God, I rejected her last night. The girls try to tell her, like, it's not your fault, obviously. And that night they have a bonfire vigil for Macy. So all the girls go and some of the guys. They're all sitting by the fire. There's this moment where you see that Drew has been avoiding Bree and she doesn't know why. And she feels kind of sad about it. But then there's no need. There's no need to be sad because who comes next for Bree? Tyreek. I don't know his last name. Withers? Tyreek Withers, I think his name is. The guy from Him. That man is so attractive. He sits down next to her at the vigil and says, hey, you're pretty. I would die. I would fold so easily. That's just a little side bit that's happening for Bree. Everyone at the vigil is saying that there might be a party going on later. And you would think like, oh, you're so sad. Like maybe you should just stay home and relax. But in the iconic words of Evan's current girlfriend, I can still be sad and get drunk. So they go party. We're at this party. Tyreek and Bree are making out. Oh, Tyreek's character's name is Tim. So Tim and Bree are making out. Go Bree. And Lucy is a mess. She is putting them back, and then she gets sick. She runs out to the front yard, vomits, and then who pops up but Steven? He takes care of her, brings her back to her dorm, and she starts to bawl. She's crying because she says, no one thinks I'm nice anymore. Which, duh, you're not nice. You have not done one nice thing this entire episode. But he comforts her, he puts her into bed, he's about to leave, and then she asks him, can you stay? So he does. Spend the night together. They wake up the next day, and she is mortified. But he's very nice and calming about it. And then Macy comes up. She's like, I'm just upset about Macy. And he says, oh, I barely knew her. And it's weird. Oh, I didn't mention this, but earlier in the episode, the girls were asking Macy about Steven. And she says, we barely know each other. And then he says the same thing, but it's like, then why did you seem so excited to see him at the party? It doesn't really make much sense, but that will come up later. Instead, he's like, yeah, I know she seemed cool. I didn't know her that well. Then he goes, oh, also, who's calling you before? Because before he interrupted her getting a phone call and she was very rude about it. It's a weird follow-up. It's a weird follow-up from, oh my gosh, how are you doing about Macy? She seemed cool. By the way, who was talking to you before? It's like, why do you need to know that? Why do you need to know that? I don't trust you. It's sketchy. And so the conversation flows. He says, can I take you out on a dinner date? He's back on this date thing. And she is blushing. She's flattered. She's like, really? After me being a drunken mess? And he says, yeah, of course. And they make out a bit. He tries to go further. And then she says, actually, we're going to stop right here. He leaves, goes straight back to his dorm room. Who's standing outside of his dorm room? Diana. And that's his ex. His ex is the angel Diana. And this is how you know this man must have charm. Look at this man. Average. He's pulling two of the most stunning girls. Charm will get you everywhere. So she's outside his door. She asks to speak to him. They go back into his room. She says, where have you been? He says, without hesitation, I was at Wrigley's. You can ask him. I think everyone knows. Anyone who has ever lied as a child, you would know. As soon as you say you can ask whoever you are mentioning, it's a lie. It's like when I was a kid and I would lie about stupid things. I'd be like, oh, I have a pet bunny. Ask my mom. Because in my mind, I was like, once I say, ask my mom, it's not a lie anymore. So when he said, ask Wrigley, I was like, liar. Anyway, they're chit-chatting. She has trust issues because he broke her trust. They're going back and forth. He's saying, I love you so much, you won't believe me. This is all wild, coming from the man who just was like schmoozing Lucy. One thing leads to another. They start having some fun time. They're like mid-coitus. And Diana says, I'm good. We're gonna stop right here. Gets up, gets dressed, is about to go out. The blue balls for this man. I wish them for you all the time. You deserve it. So that ends. He gets a phone call from Wrigley. Come over here right away. Drew's a mess. Something about Macy. And he rushes over. Drew is crying. He looks terrible. Then we cut to him leaving the room. He gets a text from Lucy. She says, thanks for everything. I would love to have dinner with you. He gives her a smiley face. Things are going on. Then we end the episode with him showing up to her door, picking her up for their date. They packed so much into this episode. They set the stage so perfectly. We understand the toxic relationship of Steven and Lucy. Macy's dead, but somehow Drew is involved with Macy. What's going on there? Diana is Steven's ex and he still wants to get with Diana but also be with Lucy. What? Phenomenal. And something's gonna happen to Drew because in the beginning of the episode, Wrigley's a mess because something happened to Drew. So we already have a lot going on in the pot. That pot is stirred. So we're gonna stop here. Overall, this was a fantastic first episode. If you are watching the show, please tell me your thoughts. No spoilers in the comments, but share what you think about this episode. If you've gotten this far, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time for another video. Bye.